in the UK running a massive yoga center by the name of Anand Yoga Ashram. What is the mindset? You don't change. If there are different people, you're still yourself.
I did so much of practice, and that's when yoga happened to me and how I realized that it's happening to me.
What is your overall experience of being in the UK?
I moved here irrespective of my choice. When I came here, COVID happened.
Is it easy for Indians to get jobs in the UK? Welcome to the Coaching Culture Show podcast. I'm extremely excited to bring yet another episode for you. My today's guest is not only an expert in his field, but he has deep roots in India while calling the UK home for the past 3 years. Meet Deepak Pandey, who is a yoga master with over 20 years of experience. He's not only a yoga master, but in fact is an experienced registered yoga teacher with over 900-hour yoga teacher training certification. Now, his experience is huge. He's trained police forces, corporate giants like Deloitte, as well as five-star hotels, and of course, conducted many private classes in various demographics. As compared to that, my role as a communication coach, guiding Indians to study and work abroad, I thought, why not bring and invite Deepak for a conversation and that can benefit anybody who's probably confused of moving overseas. So if you are someone confused, still contemplating on questions like, is it worth going abroad? Will it be easy for jobs? Or if you're just struggling with an overall confidence, then this episode is definitely for you. Please watch this episode for a unique blend of the Eastern and Western philosophies, and you'll definitely gain insights on yoga, life abroad, and just finding the right balance. So without further ado, let's start the conversation. Thank you so much, Deepak ji, for being a part of the Coaching Culture Show podcast. I'm extremely excited to have you for this conversation. I know right now, as we shoot, you are currently in the UK. So I'm happy to kickstart this conversation.
Namaste, Meenakshi ji. Thank you for inviting me for beautiful podcast, Coaching Culture.
Namaste to you.
So, how I can help you with?
Yes, I actually wanted to kickstart this conversation by asking you, I'm directly going to dive into your passion, which is yoga.
Yes.
So could you tell us, how did your journey begin? And I know right now you're in the UK running a massive yoga center by the name of Anand Yoga Ashram. So I want to hear everything about it.
Okay, so let's kickstart nicely, and then we move on to self-start later. So
yes.
So with yoga, I started when I was really young, when I was teenage, but I've been aware about yoga since when I was 8 or 7. In year 95, we had some event very close to our house. There is a yoga school in Mumbai. So I went there with my friends and just went around and saw all these foreign people and elderly people showing us benefits of yoga and other sections of yoga. And we just went there, made fun of it, and came out thinking that we are the most intelligent people on planet as a kid. But then in the year 2099, my dad wanted me to do yoga for myself. And he said that you are going to benefit from this practice. I was in 9th or 10th grade then. And as any young kid would do, I wasn't interested in that at all. I thought it is for people who are sick and old. But somehow he managed to get me into it. And I started going there sometimes, and sometimes I went for it, but didn't go in the class. I was just taking rounds outside. But then over a period of time, 7 years in and out, early morning, 6:30 to 7:30, I did so much of practice. And as a young kid, it synced in my system. And that's when yoga happened to me. So I did for a while, and then it started happening to me, and how I realized that it's happening to me with my own behavior. It was peaceful, quiet, not like other friends I had, similar age group, and all were excited, doing things, shouting, screaming. At the same time, I was more on the peaceful side. So that's how yoga happened to me. And the moment I realized that I want to go ahead with this yoga practices, when I was in third year of my college in Bandra MMK College, we used to work as NSS group, National Service Scheme. So I was
Okay.
volunteer with them. So I was volunteer with them, and I went with them to underprivileged places. When I say underprivileged, if I see back then and even today, masses in India are underprivileged in that sense, if you see the way things are going on around, but we consider everybody as different. So going to these colleges and schools like BMC government schools, there were hundreds of kids, and hundreds of kids shouting and screaming. And our dear professor, who was managing NSS for years, he couldn't get them quiet. So he used to struggle with it for hours to get them quiet and then start whatever session we were supposed to. NSS was basically where we go and share our best as students, whatever we have got. So somebody would share craft, arts, or storytelling, or maybe something, whatever you have got, some sports. So these kids benefit from your talent, basically, whatever you support them with. So, but they didn't knew that I know yoga and I've been into yoga for a long time. But somehow when I saw everybody struggling with kids, I stood up there. It didn't even bother who is standing next to me, professor. I just stood up in the middle and I said, everybody, please stand feet together, join your hands and close your eyes, loud. And it came from within. And it was like more with authority. And everybody was in line, joining hands, quiet. And within 10 seconds, it was so peaceful. The professor was astonished. What just happened? And he was like, can you please come to all the places we go every time so that you start and then we carry on from then on? And I realized that I haven't done any yoga course or anything, and nobody taught me to deal with certain age group or different type of people, but it's from inside that I know so much of it because I've been practicing it
Yes.
consistently. And it just sinked in within the system. And that was the day I realized this can make some beautiful change around me if I share it with people who need it.
Yes, for
So
sure.
that's how yoga happened to me. And I did the course. And somehow this little kid who was in his half pants doing yoga with elderly people 6:30 a.m. for years turned up to be their own teacher in the same class. And they were like, my God, we saw you growing and now you are teaching us how to do certain posture and what are their benefits. So it was nice feeling for me as well. And that's how I entered into yoga, though I studied business, master's in commerce. I did bachelor from MMK and then 2 years master's in Mitibai. And there's one more thing which went a bit different when I was studying and doing this yoga thing, that I was trying to be either like it's common people think of to be IPS or IAS officer. So I was studying for that for years. At the same time, I was training yoga teachers to become yoga teachers. So I was in that certification course. So while that was happening, I was applying for to be assistant professor as well, because that way I can reach out more younger generation and share more with education, yogic perspective as well. But somehow that it happened that I was meant for yoga. And then I ended up, instead of professor of police, I was training special police force. I was training kids in juvenile jail. I was teaching in colleges where I studied to youth and training around in the gyms in Mumbai. And so that's how yoga happened to me. Uh,
Wow.
and it's like instinctive more. It's not I have to struggle to teach something or find out the topics. It's just I come across people, I know the age group. At the same time, I've been trained highly with yoga school. I studied for to deal with people with asthma, diabetes, obesity, emotional problems, arthritis. So it's a big study. It's not just random. So, and I thought, let me go ahead with this and share with people.
Yeah, you pretty much covered. I wanted to ask you that was yoga always your plan? But I think it's the calling you eventually it led you because when we're growing up, nobody thinks that yoga instructor or coach can be a full-fledged career, which is
Never,
where
never.
I'm glad, like, it's so obvious that you took the business route or the business degree that okay, I'll at least have that, not
Yeah.
realizing, I'm sure now, however you've seen your life pan out, where yoga has
Mm-hmm.
become huge, right? And
Mm.
especially as we're going to go more towards AI, we will need more of yoga and pranayam. And as you said, it helps you calm your mind. Others are everyone's, it's a chatter, it's a scream, and yoga centers you. So I want to ask you my next question because
Yes,
you're
please.
from a college which is in the hip and happening town of Bandra, Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
And I met you obviously in one of the trendiest gyms of Mumbai, where you were not a strength trainer, but a yoga instructor. I know you
Yes.
used to visit there bi-weekly,
Mm-hmm.
but the gym had a lot of people from celebrities to artists to even
Yes, yes.
regular people like me.
I mean,
What
everybody is
struck
regular. We make celebrity. You are a celebrity as well.
I mean, just being modest, I mean, just that there were celebrities, there were a lot of people, influencers.
Mm.
And obviously, when I joined, I did have a lot of thoughts on is this the right choice? Is it not the right choice? But what struck out was your personality,
Mm.
that you are still the same. Okay, so I'm talking about the time that you were in Mumbai and
Yes.
I saw you interacting with us and
Mm-hmm.
everybody around differently. Your choice of clothes, your communication is so simple, which is
Mm-hmm.
actually admirable.
Mm-hmm.
How,
Thank you.
what is the mindset? You don't change if the room changes with people. If there are different people, you're still yourself. So I know you're going to give the credit to yoga, but I want you to speak more into the mindset because I feel youngsters, I have struggled this, I still struggle sometimes, but my younger students struggle even more. That they feel the need of changing, they feel the need of fitting in, changing their clothes, changing their accent. I want you to
Yes.
really talk about this.
Okay, that's a really important question actually, and it never crossed across my mind in that
Yes.
way, but definitely if I see my past and even now, there must be situations when I might change in terms of my behavior, not that I'm aware of. But the mostly what I'm aware of is I have never noticed myself behaving in a certain way because some certain person has entered the place. And definitely, like you said, credit goes to yoga practices. And very
Yes.
important aspect of it is when you don't want anything from someone, you don't change. Like you would change when you need something from somebody. So if the girl comes and I'm like at liking her and I want her in my life, then I will start behaving in a certain way. Look at me or feel me and then come along with me. Basically, you want something. And that's what changes your behavior. Maybe it can be attention you need, or maybe you need some business from someone, or maybe you want them to respect you. So you start behaving in a certain way so that they feel you're really educated, really uplifted person, and you are clever and whatnot. So that's what people behave in different way, to see themselves how they look in their eyes, and they feel better. That's what I think when you want something. I never wanted anything, and I never did, and still don't do yoga. When I share yoga, it's purely because what I know is good for me. And if I share, it grows double in me and maybe a little bit in them. And we both progress positively. So that was my aim. I never fancied that let me make yoga something, sell it, and make money. So when
Yes.
that was out, my behavior did change. And strongly, it also came from the background that I was dealing with thousands of people, training them to be teacher. So I wasn't one of the instructors jumping around for money or butter and bread, though it was. Everybody told me, you're not focused, you're not making money, you're not thinking money wise. I studied business, and I know in the business thing, I studied all the possible ways that I can sell something and
Mm-hmm.
tap into human behavior and make them liking something or buying something even if they don't want. And that's what's happening. If you see similar with this attention seeking or behavioral change, or wannabe, you can say, I want to be or look
Yes.
wannabe. And we are all intelligent people, we can figure it out, something real or something fake, from accent to anything, right? We can instantly, everybody knows everything. Like in Hindi there is a saying, सबको सब मालूम है, जनता सब जानती है, ये पब्लिक है
Mm-hmm.
सब जानती है, और ये
Mm-hmm.
पब्लिक ही है वो सब करती भी है. So basically public also behaves in a certain way and they know already. So it's basically fake game all the time, and you
Yes.
can't stay with that for long. It hurts yourself, it troubles you, which you don't realize. So with me, it was like, I don't need to fake anything. I don't want anything from anyone. I don't want the way they look, the way they behave, because I know what I want to behave like, what is I want in my life. I want my own peace, and it comes only with my practices. Nobody can give me. It's just only if
True.
I practice certain things, I will feel confident and at ease. So basically, right routines, waking up early, going to bed early, knowing what I'm doing, knowing what I'm capable of, what all potential I've got, and what best I can squeeze out of this life in a positive way without forcing it, without showing it like I'm wannabe or this, that. Otherwise, it was really easy when I'm teaching somewhere in the gyms, like you mentioned. There are celebrities around, click a photo and put a tag and make it look like, oh, I know them since years, thousands of years,
Yes.
and get more attraction and more business. Never intended. I taught in that school to maybe more than 10,000 students, but never asked a single person, go to my Instagram and follow me. Never.
Yes.
Never put it on the board or across the mouth. If they liked it, they followed it, and still I have got whatever I've got. I was teaching in Soho House, Mumbai as well, and there are celebrities. But
Yes.
since childhood, I don't have. And there is one more very important thing which I will come in upcoming questions. If you come with that question, I will share. If you don't, still I will put that point across. So with
For
me,
sure.
that's what it is, Meenakshi ji. I was clear what I am doing, and what my parents are giving me, what they have given me is enough. I don't need to seek from somebody else some validation, because I know, I clearly knew that what I am doing. And trying to share something which I don't know, or making it look like something great, wouldn't help anyway. So the more real I was, the more I was at ease, and never got influenced by anybody's behavior, because I didn't want it to be somebody. I just wanted to
Makes
be
sense.
myself and my better self. And that sorted many things. Like if I am struggling with my physique not looking great, I don't look other people and see, oh, their body. No, I see like what I am capable of. I'll work on it and see how it shapes. I'm not flexible. I don't need to see contortionist folding everywhere. I need to see myself what I am capable of.
Makes
You
sense. So
understand?
you compare yourself with yourself. You try to be,
Progressively.
the best version. Uh,
Yes.
I'm sure this is a practice that comes as you mature. In the
Yes.
younger years, I feel we still struggle to fit in or try to make friends. And then
Hmm.
we figure out that, okay, they were not friends if they look for appearance. But it
Perfect.
is a journey. I think every person is different. As you said that you've always compared yourself with yourself,
Hmm.
I'm going to flip and take your journey directly to the UK. You're right
Okay.
now in the UK. So if you can tell us, when did you move? How long has it been since you've shifted? And what is your overall experience of being in the UK?
Okay. So in 1700s, I was here before when UK was struggling with its environment and the conditions. So they went over all the places and got all people here to work for them. No, so I never planned to go to UK, Europe, or USA. I could have done it easily through the educational way because I was studying and it required certain years of education. And then you
Yes,
can go there and study specific topics and
correct.
work for them if you like, or come back to your country. But that's what people do. They go there, they never come back. The reason can be X, Y, Z, or whatever, right? The reason can be they have to earn money to repay their whatever they got support from, or maybe people don't know what they are doing here and they think of them, oh, they are in another country, they must be doing so well. They might be struggling here really badly,
I
but they
actually do. It's funny that you're bringing all this up. I have all these questions laid out for you.
okay, okay, coming ahead.
For
Okay.
sure. Uh, as
Yes.
to the impression, what like got you? I know you said that it's been recently that you've moved there. So what is your overall experience as of now in 2024? What's happening
Okay,
in the
so
UK? Do you like it there? You miss India? Probably that could help.
okay, so I moved here irrespective of my choice because I got married in Mumbai with a nice, beautiful British wife, taller than me, which I also didn't intend to. And then it happened because it was meant to happen.
Yes.
And otherwise, before her, my father was really, I come from a family, Brahmin family, where we get married really early and we focus like this on our journey. But then I was born in city, so I took the liberty maybe till longer, as long as possible. And when you meet somebody and it is bound to happen, it happens. So that happened.
Yes.
And uh, she couldn't cope when she was having our daughter after 5 months because India is really beautiful. Mumbai is beautiful, but she is from UK, and the honking that happens and the rain that
Yes.
happened in 2019, eh, she went a bit homesick. So I had two options, either to tell her bye bye, enjoy your country, or come along with her, support her as a husband. And I thought and everybody elder recommended it's better that there is baby on board. You should go there and take care of your family. Now it's your family. You
Exactly.
are a family now.
Yes.
And that's how it happened. And when I came here, COVID happened. So
Oh my
beautiful.
God. So
Yeah,
you
they
literally
welcomed me with,
you
yes,
landed in the thick of COVID.
yeah. So we can say it was nice to be here or worse to be
Okay.
here. You can see both the ways because
Okay.
COVID was something where people were like, any country had restrictions more or red alert, they hated that country. So there was a point where people thought India is third world country and China and all this, and they hated those countries by the name. But then it happened, turned around that UK is worse now. So everybody
Yes.
hated UK. You
Oh,
understand that
yes.
way
UK
people,
was in the news. Of course, I don't like to remember the COVID times. Obviously, nobody does, but
Yes.
it was
So that's what happened when I came here. So when that happened, I went to Spain and stayed there
okay.
for 3 years in
I think
Spain.
the
Yeah.
initial wave, it was very prominent in the UK. I think by 2021, India got highly impacted. So you went there, things were really worse, then you moved to
Yes.
Spain. Okay.
Yeah, moved to Spain, and I moved to Spain just a day before it was locking down its
Look,
borders, UK. And it was beautiful to live because our daughter was just 6 months or really small. So it was pleasure to be there in Spain with the son than to be here locked in the house. And in Spain, it was beautiful beach and mountains. So 3 years there and then came back to UK. So that's how my journey is coming to UK, going to Spain, coming back to UK.
okay. So you
And
majorly spend time in Spain and now you are in the
yeah,
UK.
now I'm back.
Now you're
Now I'm
back.
back,
Okay.
and there I did the same thing. I certified yoga teachers. That's my work. So either
Yes.
I'm here, there, or wherever I share yoga. That's my whole thing going on. But when I have been in UK before the COVID started, I was driving around and looking around how UK looks and how people feel, because I never dreamt about going to some country. I wasn't excited and crazy. Oh, London, let me go and explore and
Yeah.
this and that. Nothing. It just happened to me. I'm here, but I have same agenda to be the way I am, progress on the path of yoga and share yoga with people, because people cannot give you anything. They can't give you anything because they need something for themselves and they are not aware. So how can they give you something which they are not aware? All you can
That's
do is
a great mindset shift. I'm telling you, I think because you practice yoga, your mindset is so
it's
different.
clear. No, it's
It's
clear.
clear it is different as well. The minute you say that I don't want anything else from anybody, because everybody
Mm.
is so busy wanting things for themselves.
Yes, yes, that's true. So when
That's
they will give you something, they will come with lots of terms and conditions, which is so small and hidden, you won't find it.
yeah, makes sense. So you didn't have the desire, but you're there. Uh, how's your overall experience?
Oh my God, it's priceless. There are positives, there are negatives. Positives, very organized, nicely laid out, welcoming all sorts of people from all over the world, uh, going on with businesses, lots of money, people work, and there is fair trade where people get minimum wages and no. I mean, there is exploitation, definitely, but the least possible.
Okay.
It's very clear with people. That's what I see. When it comes to the job and things, when people work, it's same for a British, same for Indian. We Indians keep saying Britisher, Britisher. There is no word called Britisher. There is British, but people
Yes,
keep saying Britisher.
British.
And there is a people saying bungalow. Bungalow means Indians have ideology. Bungalow is a really big, massive house. Here, bungalow means somebody who cannot afford a big house and has a 1+1 laid out house, small one, like old age pensioner. So these are the few
Okay.
things which we are not aware of, but we think it's really big to sell all that.
Okay. But
Uh,
even to have a house that is a duplex, I think you're from Mumbai, so even a 300 square feet here
I tell you,
seems a big deal. So when we look at all those things, it
now
gives a
I
gift.
have now I have become a father, and now I understand what my father did and how whatever he did, whatever he got. And I'm at the edge where I understand what all he mentioned. And I tell you, the generation in India, the people who have been provided today, if given an opportunity, go and make your own. And my
Mm,
dad used to say, you will take 2, 3 lifetimes to make whatever he made for us.
for sure.
And
Yes.
I see that clearly. because, and also it wasn't a joke the way they earned it. It was purely work. It wasn't some random success. They worked for it as a sincere person. But nowadays it's like, if you get clicked, you're going to be this. If you get clicked, you're going to be that. And people are living in kind of some sort of denial that hard work exists, and you have to do something about it. So I feel about the house and things now. I sense it, what he meant when he said things to me. And I'm glad that he gave me education, he got me into yoga, and all that he trained me or taught me knowingly and unknowingly. So with younger generation, if they hear this podcast, right, the most important, if they want to have a good mindset, the first thing they need to do is stop seeking knowledge or guru's lectures outside the house, and just first listen to their own parents.
Parents.
The
This is so
moment they will,
strange. I'm gonna pause here because now, from a yoga guru, and contrast it to the biggest entrepreneur of the US, Gary Vaynerchuk. He says the same thing. Go to your parents and your grandparents, and they
and
have
that's,
the best advice and they'll tell you exactly how to live. And you're saying the same thing.
I
That
will,
is,
I don't know about him, but
yes,
that's what I realize, that it is so important, and we only get to know when we don't have them around, and we have just them with their whatever they taught us, and we are like, oh, they, it's like same as what I tell you. This came across to me because of this reason. Buddha, when he left his house,
mhm.
palace, to become enlightened, he passed across a man sitting under the tree, and he asked, I'm seeking a guru. And the guru said the guru would be sitting under this big banyan tree, and he will guide you. And then Buddha heard him, but didn't listen him properly and left. After 20 years of random round and round merry-go-round, he came back. And while coming back, he could see that banyan tree and the same man sitting under, who told him, you will find the guru under this. So guru is there, your parents are there, which you don't see
Okay.
it. Because you
That
don't
is,
listen. You hear them and you don't listen what they are saying.
yes.
You understand what I mean? So the point here is, we are not clear. We are taken over by external world too much, and the fancies of going to some other countries. So coming back to the point which you mentioned, what are the pros and cons? Very organized, like I mentioned, fair trade, salaries and packages and opportunities. Nobody's trying to pull you back. Less competition as comes to the population of India, our country, and here. So that's the thing. And then the negative is, it's not at all what people show you on social media UK is like. It's not at all the way people show they are really happy here on the social media. It is not even 1% of it.
Oh, okay.
Not
That is
even
shock.
1%. Yeah,
1%. Okay, not
not
even
even
1%.
1%. It is same as a male has done the makeup of a woman, and people who have not seen that person doing makeup believe that that person is a female.
Oh my God.
So same with the happiness people show around here, because everybody, mostly like you mentioned about the house, is so busy earning to afford a house in these countries
Yes.
is major. The struggle is real and really major. It's same as a person would understand somebody who comes from a rural India to Mumbai like
Mumbai.
city, and
Yes.
wants a proper house, not like some flaky house, like proper house in proper, let's say in South Mumbai. It will take eyes, ears, kidneys, everything, and still will fall short of money to buy one bedroom house in South Mumbai. And I'm not talking random corners, proper,
Makes
like where
sense. Yes.
people live a sensible life with proper kind of standard of living. So most of people in this country, similar as India, if privilege supported by parents given to them, then they can go ahead with it. But in India, it's easy to maintain whatever you have got from your parents. Here, it's not until you earn enough to maintain as well.
Okay, that
Because
is
having a house
interesting.
is not just having a house here is not just the thing you might have from your parents, but to maintain it and keep it going is a lot more than the way it's in India.
Okay.
So that's the big gap. And so when I say people are not that what they show, is basically you see the architecture and photos and you're like, oh, it's beautiful. Okay. But then what's behind it and what people go
Ah,
through
yes.
to get it and keep it like that is another thing. So we say Mumbai is a fast life. Here it is 10x faster.
Okay.
People are
Yes, it's
really,
busy.
people are really like if you ask somebody how to go somewhere, if that person is retired, not at job, if things good to help you will help you. Otherwise, uh, by the time you ask, you see that person is gone, disappeared, like Mr. India, like gone.
That's so
So,
busy.
so it's that busy, and everybody's consumed by their own work-life balance, and that's why they celebrate weekend, because 5 days they have to work, and weekends they will never take a call and busy. So when it comes to culture and the way of living, I think people should rethink the way they think about such countries. And coming next is the weather. In India, you decide you want to see a sunset apart from rainy season, you can go and see beautiful sunset whenever you want. So I
Yeah.
lived in Mumbai. Juhu was like 10-15 minutes walk for me. And if I decide I go see sunset, here I
Yes.
decide I go see sunset, 200 days out of 365, I still cannot see the sunset.
Yeah.
And the 165 days, if I want to see the sunset, either I have to see on the wallpaper or I have to go somewhere and plan, and then there I will see certain kind of sunset. So when people think how they are going to enjoy in these countries, they have to rethink about holistic lifestyle, not just money and pictures or something I made it to other country. No, because
Yeah.
life is important than making it to any XYZ country.
Makes
And let
sense.
gods, India, people come from all over the world to get there. Only after they realize that, oh, there is nothing in the West, let's go India. And you see the most of the people, they've been there, Beatles, Zuckerberg, or whatsoever, many famous people have been there and then came back, but they came back with a lot of learnings, and they
Learnings.
still keep mentioning India and keep going there. There must be some
Actually,
big
that
reason.
it's so strange that most of the things that you're saying is actually intertwining with all my questions as well. I wanted to ask you the fact that you brought about Mark Zuckerberg, and I've heard the biggest of the biggest people that have come here, including the likes of Tony Robbins. They've always made it a point to talk that when I was depressed, I took a trip to India and enlightenment struck, or I
Mhm.
got to know the real meaning of life. But back home, because you're from India, you're from Mumbai, I can totally relate to you. We have this fascination, and I can speak at least for me and the people around me, that we are fascinated by things from the US and the UK. Even a small thing of if we're sharing, um, let's say a perfume or a bag or a candy, it becomes a thing to say, oh, this is not from here, this is from overseas. I wanted
Yes.
to ask, do you notice people from other countries, are they fascinated about India? If so, of course, specifically when it comes to yoga and other things.
Okay, so there are n number of categories when you say people, because time is different for everyone. Your 10 a.m. must be something for you in India, and there is other person in India, that person's 10 a.m. is something. So for you, 10 a.m. would be such a nice day. I'm heading to teach students. And
Yes.
somebody is preparing, oh, let me wear a suit Where is my chopper? I have a meeting there. I need to go in 10 minutes. And there is a person, somebody is going to be there in the meeting. I have to go there and have to start driving 2 hours before to get there.
Yes.
You understand? Like everybody thinks and behaves differently, and it comes from one source of background. What is your expertise? What's your importance? How much money you have got, and what you're doing ahead? And
Correct.
round things will come to the money as well, round and round.
Yes.
The whole thing is that ke bhaiya sabse bada rupaiya, and that where it comes round and round, what somebody's time is. So when people hear, they think of India, it depends what people who are doing 9 to 5, people who are already made it, they have millions and billions, or people who are teenage struggling, just finished with the college. I'm talking about Western people, right? People from
Yes.
UK, or
Yes.
they have certain understanding of India. So a student will be, oh, let me gather some money, summer work, and I'll go India, learn few courses, come here and sell them and make more money. That's their perspective. Within that money, they will learn things in India like massage, yoga, and all that, take those certification. At the same time, they will travel cheap because ashrams
Yes.
and are like most. So their mindset is that somebody who is 9 to 5, I will go India for 2 weeks and I will save certain money and do something little bit massage, this, that, and see how India is and come back.
Right.
And there is some millionaire and billionaire. Oh, I have everything. I don't have mental peace. I will go to India to learn yoga, but I will go to places which is really expensive, where people, even Indian people, are not aware, being in India, that this place exists. I mean,
Yeah.
there are people in Mumbai, there are places
Yes.
nobody knows until they have
Um,
certain amount of money or links. So these are the categories, and there are many, many categories, right? Same with India. Somebody who is rich comes here for education, parties, it's different. Somebody who is from a certain background, have a little hut or slum, thinks of, oh, let me grow and make apartment. And somebody with apartment thinks, let me go here and make a house. Somebody with the house thinks, let me go make stories and sell it. So
correct.
basically, people try to progress. And now
Yes.
there is a generation in India and here both. They think, oh, my father gave me this big palace, let me sell it, make it 10 apartments and earn a rent. And they fume it and then they make it five. And from five, they make it one. And from one, they become homeless.
Yes, I think that happens, if you grow in wealth. If you've not earned it, you're more likely to lose it faster. Your point is everybody has a different perspective based
Perspective.
on the depth
Yes.
of their pocket and
Yes.
also the age that they are in.
Yes.
I'm going to move to a very interesting part, which is
Let's.
now I've noticed the world is moving towards yoga, right?
Yes.
From Hollywood celebrities uh, to the rest of the people that I've observed overseas.
Mhm.
However, in
Yeah.
India, we move more towards CrossFit or calisthenics. Why
Yes.
is there a gap? And
Yes.
how can we fix this mindset when the world is coming to us? We don't value our own things. We're like,
It's
okay, yoga is not a big deal. But if I go for a calisthenics workout or I go for a CrossFit, that's the more in and that's what's good for me. So, do you want to talk about this?
Yes, I would like to share a little story with you.
For
Very
sure.
small story. There was a guy who wanted to be really like aggressive and people should respect him like mafia, right? And he was young, like 18 years old. And he had all his health nicely built up because he was just built good and good looking, but he had that worm, we call it, to be a mafia. So he started just randomly using his power and strength wherever he could. And one day he did punched in a glass window door and the glass fell on his hand and he had that thing. And I knew him since he was like tiny boy, like he was just in his running around, and I know him since then. And I used to tell him, why are you doing all this? And he used to get call from his mother while sitting chit-chatting with the group of friends. He would say, oh, I'm not picking up. Go home like 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. and she has been calling. But they had really good background. And the background was like, father was Arab and the mom was Indian, and the money was endless. And being an Arab kid, he was, but born in India, born in Arab, being in India since childhood, his mind went Indian. I don't know, maybe the movies, and he got influenced to have something like. The day he got that bandit, I remember he came to me around 8:30 and he was speaking with my younger brother and friends. And he said, he mentioned himself, I need to go home. It's like about to 9. My mom would be worried. And
Okay.
when he when he said that my mom would be worried, I was like, she has been calling you since years to come home in time. Today you are going because now you understand she is the one who is going to take care of you, support you when you have all the things. And that day he is like, oh, you have been telling me so long not to do certain things, right?
Right.
And I had all the love and care why I was going to get myself cut, and now I understand. So basically, when we have yoga with us, we won't appreciate it. When we have nice health, no knee pain, no backache, all the denture at its place, beautiful, real, natural face, we won't appreciate it. We will do all the fillers, all the things to mess it. And once we have messed it, and then we will see Madonna or maybe some Western woman saying, you shouldn't do all this. I did it in past, and now I move organic towards India. And then people will rethink. You're getting my point.
You beautifully brought this up.
So
Loved
people
the
will
analogy.
so people will rethink about that. Now, if you come back to yoga, yoga is such a beautiful thing. It brings you peace, health, calmness, but people don't want that. You might have seen that comedy video where a guy says, I don't want peace. I love problems. I love problems. So when you say people want to rucksack and people want to do
Yes.
this CrossFit, people want to do more fancy workouts, Pilates and all that, they want that problems. And when they have problems, they will go to yoga class and they say, oh, I got this L5, L6 really messed up because I did this deadlift. Now I got this, but they don't realize they have to fix something here as well. They don't realize. And the reason for that, the way people put reels or videos online is so fascinating. We are so influenced by the consumption
Visual.
of these
Yes.
things. It looks like wow. It's same as like we are people, we get influenced by movies a lot. And I will
Yes.
mention about that in your other question, hopefully, if you ask me, or if you don't, still I will mention that because it is
Please do.
very important point. Indians are so filthy, not Indians, even all over the world. People think they don't get influenced. They do get influenced
We
by
do.
watching. So they see somebody smoking and looking manly in some movie. Then you have teenage or younger generation taking that cigarette. And they want to be like that. They aspire to be that. And they think these are the traits. Same
Correct.
with workout. They see somebody with a physique, especially white person or somebody toned up with abs, and they are like in certain sports clothes. That visual is so like, oh my god, abs, and look at her, look at him. They what they do, rucksack, they do CrossFit, but believe me, in practical life they might not be doing that. They are just models.
Yes.
They're not even done. They just got the aesthetics from their parents or whatsoever, and they are young and they show it like that, and we get influenced by so much with this kind of things. Then we want to do that. And then we
Make
are like, people around us, they say, what is he doing? He's not doing Indian thing. Oh, he's doing something important. It comes from abroad. What is he doing? Bear crawl and pulling something, and he's doing bear crawl. What is he doing? Farmer's walk. What is he doing? He's rope climbing. Whereas, whereas in India, we have so many fitness routines, if you see, and
Yes.
so much of yoga and Indian style of workout. Believe me, I'm sharing with people workout here. They are really fit when it comes to Western fitness. But when I ask them, do Indian done, be supple like this, they can't do it. They are really stiff and they can't move in a certain way. And they say, oh, you Indians are so bendy. That's not real. Indians are not bendy, and even Indians are coming there too in their zone. The reason is the way we eat today is chair and table, not at the floor anymore. The way we have lifestyle around us is not anymore the way Indian was. It's not even Indian toilet, it is Western. And if you go to many places in India, really posh hotels, you don't even have the spray as well. So you become
Yes.
more.
Westernized or
So
influenced.
basically, when you say why people don't do or appreciate what they have and they move towards rug, I mean, what did you mention about?
Rocking,
Rocking
rocking,
and
CrossFit,
CrossFit.
calisthenics.
Calisthenic is beautiful, but then it's body weight workout. It's not, but still, it has got major source or chances of injury. And the reason is we go towards, incline towards more towards this kind of things. People don't appreciate what you have.
Yes, as you rightly said, till you're not hurt and injured and you don't figure out, you're
Same, like,
always going to
oh, I
give,
need to go home now.
yes, and you're always going to ignore your parents' call. I think you cleared the next question also, which was there's a common misconception that if I'm doing yoga, it's for the old, it's for the boring people.
Yes,
Uh, and uh, and I
like
can say
me.
that because I think you've been my yoga instructor as well.
Yeah.
I feel the most fittest if I practice yoga. I remember calling you during the pandemic and you shared a plan that got me into fitness. Now, when I say fitness, for me, I know unfortunately the world judges your weight and they
Yes.
start giving you unsolicited advice, which,
Yes.
by the way, I don't appreciate. So I'm putting that on the record. I've also
Yeah.
put that on LinkedIn. But this is something I think we should be sensitive towards people who we don't know. And it doesn't become our business to comment on somebody else's looks.
No.
But keeping me aside, uh,
Yeah.
I know for sure the notion, let's say I go to a gym or if I'm just down for a regular walk, a lot of people will tell, oh, you should not be doing yoga because that's not ever going to give you results. Go for strength training, pick up weights and go to
Yes.
the gym,
Yes.
lift those
Yes.
dumbbells.
Yes.
And I couldn't disagree more because fitness is not just your weight, it's not the exterior, it's also interior. The minute I do weights, as it is, we are stuck on these screens, whether we like it or
Yes.
we don't
So,
like it. You
yes.
get horrible neck ache, you become stiff here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yoga, when you said bendy, I'll say flexible. And our body is
Yes.
supposed to be flexible. If
In a
you're
certain way, yes.
if this pen drops off and if I'm not able to pick it up, then there is a problem with me. And when I used to go to the gym, and you've seen me, I've lifted weights, I've done those farmers walk, I've done
Yes.
pretty
Yes.
much everything. It's never given me the result what I feel is healthy within. But
Yes.
with yoga, it's a different ball game. Your skin starts glowing. You start looking younger. You can do daily activities with so much of ease without
Energy as
any
well.
pain.
Yes.
As you said, there's no knee pain, no knee injury. You're not like stiff, oh, today I can't do this. I've noticed a lot of colleagues and people around me. So this is the biggest myth, right? That yoga is for the old. It is now for
Yes.
the youngsters as well. Do you notice in UK, are youngsters practicing yoga? Are they fascinated with this, or you still think they are far away from trying yoga?
It's different age group and different sect of people, different areas they live in, what they consume on social media, what TV they watch, and how they get in touch with yoga. So I'll give you an example, the way you mentioned about people judge things. So imagine if what is knowledge and what is enlightenment. So if you ask Buddha, Mahavir, or big personalities, right, about this computer which we are talking about Zoom call, and about technicality of all this, even today Sadguru or whoever guru we have in India and Guru Mas, if you ask them, can you fix my iPhone please, if you are that enlightened and knowledgeable, can you do this and that? So do we judge them on that they don't know all that?
Yeah,
They don't know
absolutely
how to
no.
make a bridge, how to do technical things, they don't know how the train runs, they don't know how what runs. We won't judge them. It's same as judging someone on their size and weight is similar judgment, that you are judging someone with something else, wrong judgment, basically.
Yeah,
It's completely wrong. Judging is not wrong. If you need a person to be uh, as your team in the workforce, as a military person, then you can judge, okay, you are not fit for this, but
makes
you are
sense.
fit for
Yes,
many other things. You can
correct.
be a nurse, you can be a doctor, you can be XYZ and whatsoever, or you can be healer, tarot card reader, or whatnot.
Right.
So people have their places. And the reason people judge is because they watch these movies and think so much that they have some kind of picture that it is supposed to be like this, and this is what fitness is. You understand?
Yes.
So it comes from something else. It's not that they know they were born to judge and give a tag, and they forget that they are getting judged too at the same time. It's
Yeah.
same as judging someone who is like, oh, who is this ignorant skinny person, looks like chin is here, nose is here, eyes are somewhere else, and that person you have been judging and looking how lame this person is, if the wind comes will fly off. But
Yes.
the same person you see within 10 seconds, a girl comes, holds his hands, they go, and there is a really posh car, they sit in and they go, while you're standing and thinking your life around what just happened.
Yes, I think it's all the play of judgment. We should at least consciously not judge.
Yes.
I've been at an event where I think, obviously, I'm not going to talk details about this, but I felt too disrespectful because in a room full of health conscious, fit people, the speaker decided to talk about intermittent fasting and how everybody, if you want to be rich and if you want to be successful in your career, health comes first, which I agree, but decided to stare or down stare at me when he mentioned about intermittent fasting.
Oh
And
God.
obviously, for me, it was a realization that you're judging me from that stage. Now, either I'm in my head thinking the person's only looking towards me, but eyes can't lie, right? You know where you're looking
Yeah,
at in a room full of 40, 50 people.
yeah, like
So,
this.
yes, if I'm looking at you, obviously, you know that I'm looking at you, and you're making it pretty obvious. That's where I felt that consciously, especially post pandemic, the world's been on a roller coaster. I
True.
think we
Yes.
all are going through things differently. A lot of
Yes.
businesses shammed and slacked, a lot of new
Yes.
businesses came up. It's a lot to do with constant scrolling.
Yes.
So the least you can do is not judge. I know it
Yes.
is a human tendency, it's how our brains are programmed. But
Yeah.
if you say, okay, that's not my space, and if you come from kindness and happiness, or I'm nobody to judge and everybody is
No.
doing their best, it
Yes.
becomes good. And I think this is that whole fear of judgment that also stops a youngster to join a yoga center, that it probably thinks like, oh, going to for yoga is not cool. How will
No,
I pose that on Instagram? Our stories, our lives, our choices actually are based on the stories that we want to put out. Let's go
exactly.
for a sundowner at Soho House because that's more cooler. Let's not sit at the local, maybe a organic joint because that's not cool. Why to tag there? Oh, so I think if we do away with all these things, people will understand the true value of yoga because it's inner work, right? And the
Yes.
more I have practiced, I think I'm talking from a personal experience. The more I have practiced, the more I'm tolerant of the noise around.
Yes.
More, obviously, the previous event I attended was of participants of 50 people. The recent event that I've attended had 3,000 people. And I was
Wow.
so happy to know that I can hold my own ground. And I'm
Yes.
not,
Yes.
as you rightly said, I'm not looking at the chatter. People were screaming, people had more than what, and you can figure out if you have fake followers, if you have fake revenue, you can do whatever. You can't
You
fake in
cannot never.
reality. It
Yes.
becomes
Yes.
easy online. I can still, put up a fancy plant here or a fancy something here, but I can't fake in real life.
Real life, never.
And I
That's what it
noticed,
is.
and I felt, okay, I'm gonna obviously come from kindness. I don't want to judge anybody. Everybody's got a different story,
Yes.
but yoga helps you look into yourself. If you
Yes. And there is
remember
a
in your class, I used to do this. Towards the end, you make us close our eyes
eyes.
and say Om, right?
Yes.
That's how.
Yes.
And I would always open my eyes and I'd say, I can't shut my eyes for even a
Yes.
minute. And you would
Yes.
make it a point to tell me,
Yes.
no, you
Close
have
your
to
eyes.
do this.
Close your eyes. Yes.
Because if you're so confused inside, I don't think you can close your eyes quietly for more than 1 minute or 2 minutes, right? So it's your inward journey, which I think is so important in
It
today's
is.
life.
It is. It is. It is very, very
It
important.
is so crucial, which is why I wanted to have this conversation at the earliest, because
Yes.
I notice even most of my younger students, right? They're so lost, and most of them have anxiety when they're traveling overseas. And I feel if they hear this, they're going to benefit so much.
It's natural. It's
Yeah.
natural to have anxiety, Meenakshi. It's
Yeah.
natural. It's natural.
To such an extent where they fear, where they don't, I feel, I don't remember when I was at their age to even use the word anxiety. I
I
think,
didn't knew as well till I
yes,
passed maybe all my graduation. I mean, I'm aware of the concept word, but I didn't hear it as much.
I don't know if this is, I would rather not go in that direction because
Yes,
maybe
yes,
I'm
yes.
not the right qualified person. But let's
Mm,
get to an interesting question that I have for you next is you've
please.
been in the UK, you've been on and off, rather you've traveled the stretch of Europe.
Yeah, I
You
did. I
must
did
have,
ride, to put before your question, I did ride motorcycle from Spain to Paris to London recently
wow, that's
by
like a
myself.
dream. Wow, that's
By
amazing.
myself. Yes.
That must have been quite an experience. So, if you've
Yeah.
been traveling, you're traveling with your family, and sometimes you're a solo traveler, you must have observed a lot
A
of
lot. Yes.
Indian
A lot.
community.
Yes.
So, now I can just tell you snippets of what we see on Instagram.
Yes.
Are, and I'm only going to talk about, are Indians genuinely so happy overseas? And what are your personal observations?
Indians are happy everywhere on the planet, wherever you put them, because if they are eating their Indian food, then they are happy. If they are with their Indian people around and they can do all they do, and if they can be heard or they can hear others in their own emotions and language, then they are happy. If they have Indian Bollywood movie going on the TV, they are happy. if they have all the videos coming on the internet from India and the funny memes, they are happy. But reality is not that. If you
Okay.
meet them individually as a person and scan them and talk with them, you will come across many emotions which are getting suppressed being here,
Okay.
speaking other language all the time, not having sun. So I see 8 or 7 people out of 10 looking really not nice over a period of time. They go all disturbed and agitated. The more they are here, the more they become like that. The
Okay.
more they are here, they become like that deeply. Three, flourish because they are maybe certain age, more clear, they don't bother with things, and they are not maybe a responsible adult or responsible person monetary wise, or having to do something for the family.
Mm-hmm.
When they're completely offset to do whatever they want without thinking the price tag, and they can do whatsoever, then they are all happy peppy. But when those 7 people who are struggling to get a job, pay the bills, and have something over the head like student loan or whatnot, then they don't go that way. People who have established here over a long period of time, have shops here, have a regular income, everything is flowing, they are happy.
Okay.
Otherwise, when you are on the street and one Indian sees the other, thinks how you are here. Instead of saying hello, namaste, they have a question mark, how this person is here, how that person is here. And then it depends. Then they speak and then they realize not everybody is Indian who is looking Indian. Same
Right.
as the Indian food shops here. So it is like Indian cuisines, saying Indian food, Indian taste. But if you go to the shop, not a single Indian inside. It's all Pakistanis and Bangladeshis. So,
Yeah.
so same with Indian looking people. When you see all Indian, it's not
It's not
necessarily.
entirely true.
So that's how it is. It's different for everyone, and it's not what it looks like. If you clearly ask them, "Are you really happy here?" I'm not talking about who come and pop in and go back there and can
No,
afford
people
any
that
kind
are
of house.
settled. Yes, even I'm talking about people that are settled, let's say for 2 years, 3 years.
Yes. So 2, 3 years is not settled. It's still struggle. If they are responsible
Okay.
adults and not funded by home or other people,
Right.
they are in mess. They are not excited. Or they might have a escape route by smoking, drinking, and the bigger picture of that being lost is coming in 5 years. That's another thing. Those who are sorted are the people, those who are really sensible. They know they have to pay somewhere, responsible for whatever they have done. So they function differently, they roll differently, and you can see different. There is stress, there are things, but it's different.
They are different. I know that you've got nothing to do. You did not go there for a job or setting your
No.
business. Your reasons were very clear. And thank you for being so transparent and sharing that personal part of your life.
Yeah, it's okay.
But according to you, is it easy for Indians to get jobs in the UK? What's your
It
take on
depends.
this?
It depends.
Depends.
If you have right certifications, right qualifications, then it's really, really easy. You can just get in, put your CV, go through the interviews, and you are clear. There is no kind of holding back. Maybe 1%. Like in India, it's 90%. Under the table, over the table, what background you come from, how much people you know, all that. Here, it's more transparent. Just
Okay.
1% like that. 99%, it depends. Easy to get job, there are 1,001 jobs. Driving Ocado car, to many things, many jobs.
All right. So if I'm in India, obviously driving an Uber in the UK doesn't excite me. It will it will just put me in are you there? Yeah, it might embarrass me, right? So if I want to, let's say
That's
I
Indians
am
have that kind of thought.
yes, so I'm talking about Indians that are here, and if they want to apply for jobs in the UK,
Yes.
Do you think they have a chance, or have you noticed
Yes. Yes.
anybody that has come there not through the intra company transfer? Let's say I'm working at JP Morgan or
Yes. Yes.
Deloitte
Exactly.
or Morgan Stanley, and then
Yes.
I'm sending them to the UK. That's
Yes.
okay. But what
Yes.
if I am an accountant? I don't know anybody. My company is a local chartered accountant based
Yes.
here.
Yes.
And I feel now I'm done with the life here. How much ever I'm working, I'm
Yes.
not getting that return. But my friend posts all these fancy stories. They have this
Yes.
cool house and cool car and a parting life. Can I apply? Do you think, have you come across people that have applied for work permits and that are currently in the UK, or you've probably not
Yeah.
interacted with
Yeah.
it?
Yes. There are doctors. There are doctors
Doctors,
around. They are
yes, that's a
independent
different
and
niche,
they have
yes,
qualifications. There are accountants as well.
right,
There are lawyers as well, but they don't have Indian certification. They did study
yes.
properly and went in, because you cannot work with the education
Yeah,
of
the
auto
standards are
driver.
different, the healthcare, the law, correct.
Yes, it's
But you
similar.
were
Like,
meant to say your niche profile, right? Extremely niche profiles. Can you noticing that they are on work permits?
it depends. If you apply for MNCs, they are open to embrace you if you have right qualifications, and if they think that you are a person will
The right
take their
fit.
business somewhere, then its opportunity is there equally for everyone. Being Indian, being independent, you look and find, and if you put across your qualifications without any agency, still it will work because you are eligible, and then you go through interviews. That's the thing.
Yes.
Apart from that, you need to be either trained here for something.
Yes. So that is my next question. Let's say I'll give you an example of somebody who is in their early 20s, doesn't
Yes.
come from a well-off background. Let's say that they have very limited resources.
Hmm.
Father is probably the only bread earner
Yes.
and is telling their son or daughter that whatever little I can afford, if you want to go overseas, we will have to take a student loan. So, do
Yes.
you think, in your personal experience, do you advise someone to take that student loan, take that debt in their early 20s, and come there specifically to study in the UK? Do you think that's making sense anymore?
If the person is really, what do you call it, you see the spark, then definitely should do that, because there is more availability to the type of education and resources here compared to India.
Makes sense. Okay.
And you can help Indians by studying here, going back and making nice things for us there. Not necessarily you work here. Maybe you work here, learn the things, and you go there and
Apply
share.
it.
Also, you mentioned about people wearing clothes here in UK and everything, right? It's from UK. But if you see the labels, it's made in India mostly, or China or Bangladesh.
Yes, but I don't think it's in fine printing. They don't like to acknowledge that fact, right? Though
Yes,
India is a powerhouse, and
yes,
thanks to the way I'm extremely proud of the way we are positioned globally. But
yes.
I've also worked when I wasn't really, it was something where we used to get embarrassed, right? Third world country. But I'm glad that, the way we are evolving and the narrative is changing. So yes,
Yes,
you're right that made in India or made in China, but we refuse to even look at that, right? Like
yes.
if this is from UK, this is from US, or
It's
then
not.
it's cool. But yeah, more and more
I tell you,
Indian.
very important point, Meenakshi ji, I want to tell you that when you said made in UK, made in India, but designed by somebody from UK. Okay. It's
Yes,
same as that we have pranayam. We are not
yes,
doing it. They
breath
take the
work.
pranayam and they tell you that we have designed this breath work,
Yes.
and you're like, oh, 242, and it's in English. It's same as like saying some nice abuse in English is cool, then saying in
Yes.
Hindi it's really ugly.
Yeah. I think I brought this conversation even on my previous episode where we still think that it's superior. We got to do away with this mindset. You're right.
No,
It's
no.
the same thing packaged differently. And pranayam is nothing but breath work. In fact, their breath work could be an inspiration. It is pranayam. It's just packaged differently. Am
Because
I
I
right?
asked them, the guy who was giving lecture, where I asked him, where did you got this breath work from? Have you heard of Indian pranayam? And then he went blank. And I asked him, who is the founder of this breath work? And then
Mhm.
he mentioned somebody from just recent birth. And I said, go back in history and see thousands of years before we have given this. You
Yes.
understand the point? It's
Yes.
like, and it was fortunate that I was there listening to this person. All of other people were mesmerized looking at him, listening at him. And I was like, he's just talking pranayam in breath work and making it so important. Breathing is so important. This is that. You don't take care. That's what we say in Hindi, and you don't believe
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So that's the thing.
So I think the last question, I'm not going to take much of your time.
Yes.
Uh, it's actually my favorite question, which is how important is our communication skills if we want to be successful
Do you hear the
in.
sound?
Oh no, it's okay.
It's
I
okay.
Yes. So
So
is communication and English skills important to have a successful life in a foreign land?
yes, very important question you have asked. And it's really important to know languages when you go to certain country for your job. So if you're in England, knowing English would be really supportive for everything you do here. Everything. And not just English speaking, English proper how
Writing.
to communicate, how to do government things by yourself. That will help you big time. Provided you know the language nicely and you are bit
Fluent.
working fluent and bit responsible person. Very important. It's not just चलता है चल जाएगा ये कर
Hmm.
लेगा वो कर लेगा इससे करवा लेंगे जीपीटी चल जाएगा.
Mm-hmm.
No, you have to trust within yourself and study, hard work and progress. So language is important. If you know, also if you know many different languages like Spanish, Italian, French, that would be
Yes.
even add on
That'll
to
be
that.
an add-on, but English is a must if you want to be successful.
Must.
So before I let
Must.
you go, where can are you taking classes online from the UK? Very
Okay.
important. How can youngsters and anybody who's watching this till now, how can they directly associate and benefit from your yoga classes?
Before answering that, I would say one more thing about previous question.
And I'm
English.
sorry, I'm actually rushing because I know you have to go
No, no, it's
somewhere.
okay. No, it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
I thought I'll be done in half an hour, but the way you ask questions and the things I have to share, I need to even
Yes.
cut off many things. So, language, if you don't know English, it's okay. But if you are capable of hiring a translator with you on board, then still you can work. Because what I understand is there are many powerful people on the planet, they don't know a thing about other language. Like presidents, they are like top
Yes.
positions, they speak Russian, they don't want to speak English. It doesn't mean they don't know, maybe they just don't promote it.
Don't
Spanish,
want to.
I don't want to. So it doesn't matter, it depends what you are sharing with the world. So if you're high position, you will get 1,000 translators around you. So either
Yes.
you become that big or you start small and learn everything.
Makes sense. That's a great way of looking at
Make
learning.
yourself bigger.
Yes.
Like Tanjali won't start learning English and write Yoga Sutra in Krishna wouldn't say English, will say Sanskrit. So
Yes.
so
Either.
we should learn everything, embrace everything, but then become powerful with your own thing as well.
Yes.
Learn English. English is a must when you come, but don't come like a slave or labor. Come like a talented, skilled person. And I tell you, when people say Indians working here, it's not they have made you what you are. You have the talent, they are using your talent basically. That's it.
Yes.
So think that way and become bigger. And Ranchor Das says, कामयाब बनो, सक्सेस अपने आप, कामयाबी,
Follow.
कामयाब नहीं बनो, काबिल
Skill.
बनो, काबिल
Mm-hmm.
काबिल बनो.
Yes.
And that's
Success
very,
will follow.
that's very true. But people are not real, people are artificial, not taking real roots, not studying, not becoming eligible. They want to be wannabe and get clicked and somehow uplifted. Shortcuts doesn't work. So if you're sincere, you can make it big time. If you, even if you know a really broken in English.
Makes sense. Alrighty then. And then my last question, obviously, a huge thing of how can anyone benefit? Are you taking classes online? I know you're in the UK. So what
Yeah.
is your area of focus right now?
My always has been area of focus has been to share yoga with younger generation, because elders are not bothered changing themselves. They have all planned holidays, planned dinners, planned smokings, and planned drinks. Whereas younger generation is raw, they don't know what to do. And the reason they are doing rocking and all this nonsense is also the type of music they listen to, because that brings that emotions out and makes you move in a certain way. If you listen to Indian traditional music, you will move in a certain way. So what you put in is what you put out. So because we have big influence of music from other countries, people see those music things and hear music, and in the gym it's going on. That
Yes.
music will never make you do some yoga moves. It will make you do some other kind of moves. And
Yeah.
that is the reason as well. Second, we are influenced by the movies so much. This is the point I wanted to say to you, which wasn't in the question, that we are so much influenced by the movies we watch. So much, so much. If you reflect on it and meditate, you will see most of your life and characters revolving around those movies. And like many girls, they watch Eat Pray and Love, and somehow they are following Eat Pray and Love, going on travel. When you asked who comes to India traveling, these kind of girls also come. Lost case, I won't say lost case, they make
Mm.
themselves lost case by watching those kind of movies. And while they watch those movies, they have heartbreak, some breakup or something, and they end up there. There is a big connection. The reason I say is, if you see the Donkey movie, right? It's not made just by out of random, let's make Donkey and make a business. The Donkey is made with big agenda, if you reflect on, meditate on it. And I'm saying not because somebody told me or I read somewhere. It's coming from within, which I observe. UK says we will restrict Indians coming here, and how to stop that by putting things in Indians' mind to not to come here is also a way influencing and funding this kind of movie where they show emotions. Oh, India is great, I shouldn't go there, it's so struggle, people die, this, that. So we are so emotional, then we will say, oh, let's not go there, it's miserable there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there will be another movie showing, oh, Shah Rukh is doing this in there, and it's like lovely there, London, like Dil Chahta Hai, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, and whatnot. I don't know the other name.
Yes.
People get inspired. Oh, let's go there.
Yes.
You understand what I am
Yes. Yes,
coming
for
from?
sure.
So Donkey is also made not just random. It is a big, big part to do with retaining people from thinking to go to abroad and having
Okay.
thought about going. If you see, I don't know how you see it, but I see largely, deeply. Same with many things, many things. I have many examples with big influenced people, those who had big time struggle in their life. And then you see meeting somebody and you see, and I could sense it practicing yoga, that after 4 or 5 months or after 1 year, this is going to happen. And exactly that happens. This person is somewhere, that person is somewhere. So it
Mm-hmm.
is all coming in bigger picture. So people with money up there play things around. They can control what comes in, what goes out, how to play with emotions. And movies are the biggest, I can say, influence on our generation. So when you see somebody thinking of going abroad, they might have seen some movie. If somebody is thinking of like not going abroad, retaining being in India, also seen Donkey or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gonna be like this after 40 years.
Yeah, it could also, it was initially movies. I think the focus is shifting more on social media. So everybody wants to go to UK or US for further studies because that's what their friends are also putting on the stories of we're enjoying the party life and we're chilling out. We don't have restrictions of an 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.
Yes,
We're
those are,
not under our parental control because in
yes,
India, we live in joint families. We're very proud of it. But
yes.
sometimes I think they want to break free. They want to the experience life to the fullest.
If somebody wants to experience life to the fullest, right? Try and just go in one of the railway station in India, spend 3 days there with your own earned money, not using your parents' single penny, thinking that you don't own a house and which you don't, which given by your parents, right? Just 3 days, any random station, and life will come across flashback and flash forward everything. But people come here when they see parties and all that. These are the people. Let's say I have a dad who is like, okay, what do you want? You have 1 million in your account. For how much? 2 years. 1 million. What I have to do? Rent a place and enjoy my life. And I come home, 1 million is like 10 crores. That's crore India ka. And I have to just blow it and not have a second thought about it. That's a different. Whereas somebody who owns a house worth 50 lakhs and struggles, earns money, thinks a nice big vision for his child takes a loan, comes here, and then sees, oh, that was all a scam. The party. Where is the party?
Mm,
When this
yeah.
kind of kids, they go to party, they are looked down, they are in the corner with 1,001 thoughts going in the back of the head. Oh my God. Unless and until they have something special in them, maybe nice physique, really beautiful face, or some other source. Otherwise,
But
it's the reality flashes and there is no more party, no more,
yes.
nobody's inviting you, and they go depressed. And sometimes it can be really extreme where you need medical help. It's
Actually,
true.
it is so sad, but it is true. I wish anybody that is thinking of going overseas considers all the dynamics that you just shared and much more. So yeah, I think that will still it still leaves that thing. I know you said that you want to promote yoga to the youth. So I'm just curious to know, are you taking classes online? Will you be taking classes? So definitely let us know because we're going to put all the links
So that's
in
a
our
really good
description.
thing. One
Yes.
thing I'll be doing soon, within 6 months, I'll be doing all yoga courses completely free for all Indians, whoever wants to, who cannot afford the course. All that people pay thousands to learn from UK yoga or Indian yoga, completely free. Take it online, study, use it for yourself or teach others, because I'll provide international certification as well for free. So whatever I studied, I spend money. My father paid for it, and people pay and do courses. I will put it free for all of our country, so younger
Wow.
generation can do that. And if they want, they can use it for self practice, or they can start teaching and earning some money through it. Because that's what I see. That's the only way real things, because it's so valuable, you cannot put a price tag on it. That's what I feel in person. And sometimes people hesitate and don't do it because they have like tight hands as well. So it's
Yes.
better to give everything free and see how many take it.
Yeah, actually, that's extremely generous and noble of you. I'm glad that I asked this question, and I am definitely going to put all the relevant links in our
Please.
description, show notes, wherever we upload this. So thank you once again. It was a pleasure. And
Not
yet again, it is just rolling of golden nuggets, which I've made tons of notes. It actually helps me also. So thank you so much for being a part of this podcast.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. We will do one
Namaste.
more. We will do one more podcast about how youth can help themselves
Yes.
not get influenced by anybody in the room, by any other thoughts imposed on them, by not any drugs around, and by any kind of wrong fitness routines around.
Yes, we can do this. I'm going to again construct, like obviously for this was an idea so that my students who I consult overseas, they can benefit from this conversation. But the next topic I'm going to keep in mind will be what you just suggested. So thank
Yeah,
you again, and I'll see you soon.
thank you. Bye,
Thank
Meenakshi ji.
you.
Take care.
Bye. Take care. And that's a wrap to a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope you're genuinely excited about all the free resources Deepak Ji wishes to offer to you. I will make it a point to put it up in the description of this video. I want to leave you with something very important. What really stuck out for me while talking to Deepak Ji is that whether you choose to go overseas or you stay in India, if you're a hardworking person, you are willing to put in the hours to master your craft, you will definitely have opportunities overseas as well as in India. But if you're looking for an easy way to make money, quick bucks, shiny objects of partying abroad, then I will urge you to reconsider your options. And with that, thank you so much for your time and focus with me. If you found this useful, share it with your friends and family. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in yet another episode of the Coaching Culture Show podcast.
What is freedom?